How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another X-Plane 11 stream. Doing something a little bit different this evening. Trying to do a stream direct onto YouTube. Haven't done this before. This could be a disaster, or it could be fun. Let's see how we go. Disappear music. Okay, that worked. How y'all doing? Hope you're keeping well. So we're on the ground here in Baldonnel, and we have the freeware AS365 Panther or Dauphin helicopter, which is awesome. And the livery is still a work in progress. One of the users over on the xplane.org was very kind to provide me with this Jaffo 2. As soon as it's ready, I'll be able to share the link in the description. But looks really, really nice. The history of these choppers with the Air Corps, they're no longer in service, but they had them for many years, used primarily for search and rescue, air ambulance, and they did a bit of ministerial air transport. So the whole mission for today is just let's see how my PC can handle streaming live onto YouTube. So we'll wait and see. So if any issues with sound or how everything looks, do let me know. In this chopper, as you can see, it's not bad. Like it's modeled fairly well, and it is freeware, so we can't be going too nuts. But it looks the job, and the sounds are kind of thereabouts as well. So what I want to do, just going to take off, mess around here around Bal, fly out towards Dublin as the sun is starting to set. And let's see how we go. If you have any comments, guys, or in the live chat, as I said, it's something new. We'll give it a bash. So let's see how we go. So get our battery on. As everything appears to come alive. Now, how does one fly this thing? Couldn't tell you, but we'll give it a bash. So we have some lights here. Cabin lights are already off. Notice is already on. Nav lights on. Strobe lights can come on. We have landing lights here. Leave them off to one side. Pitos, leave them off there for a sec. Wipers. Oh, wipers work. Cool. Turn it off. Alright, okay. That looks okay. Up here then, let's have a look. So we have generators, batteries already on, alternator and inverters. So we'll try and start this up and see what happens, and try not to make the thing go bang. So we'll get our throttles about halfway, get our fuel on. There's 1 and 2, and then we have a rotor brake there. So let us see. This could be loud. Quick check, batteries on. Okay, give it a bash. Keeping an eye on our RPM here as it builds up. We got to control this by our throttle. Sounds pretty good for freeware, doesn't it? Alrighty, so quick check in here, get our inverters on, generators are looking fine, throttles are holding okay. We'll jump outside for the sound. Man, that sound brings me back. Okay, so get some landing lights on. And our plan here, as I said, we're going to head out and just kind of mess around Dublin and see what happens. So parking brake can come off. We're going to add a bit of collective here, get the wheels moving if we can. That was abrupt. minor throttle here as well. So we'll just taxi on out here. We'll go up with the fire trucks and spin out onto one of the runways. So I've had a bit of a break from X-Plane really, and from making videos. I've put up the odd one over the last couple of weeks and months. Just been very busy, but still very much here. I've been, been watching a lot of stuff with the new Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's looking very promising. If we're going to get what we see, at least on the videos from other YouTubers, if that's what Microsoft Flight Simulator is going to be out of the box, it's going to be amazing. But we still got to show some love here for X-Plane. It stands up pretty well, and it'll certainly do as a stopgap. And in fairness, we only have Vulcan around the corner. It'll be interesting to see what X-Plane is going to be able to bring to us. They were saying with Vulcan, you know, they're going to tackle the clouds, the weather, they're going to tackle the lighting. And it's not to say it's bad. I mean, like, if you can compare this to what we were used to in the likes of FSX, I mean, X-Plane at night is still something to behold. So flying choppers and X-Plane is always going to be a challenge. So it could be fun. Add a bit of throttle here. In fairness, the sounds are quite good. So, bit of collective. Bit of throttle. Bit of a shaky start, but we're okay. We're up. Bring our landing gear in. Looking good so far. They are a fantastic looking chopper. Really nice. Very fond memories of these. Managed to get a couple of flips in them as well. As we come up over Green Oak here. Don't break it, Murph. Alright. So you have a challenge here with the throttle and our collective. So I use the Warthog joystick from Thrustmaster. Cool. So pretty much everything we have here today, it's freeware. The ortho imagery for the ground tiles, the airport of Baldonnel Aerodrome, that's also freeware. This chopper and the paintwork, it's all free. The only bit of payware I have will be over at Dublin Airport, and that's from Aerosoft. And like, I suppose, you know, we see the eye candy that is Microsoft Flight Simulator. Like, it's not fair to say that this isn't like a million miles behind. It's maybe 500,000 miles behind, but like, it's not that bad. Like, you look at the ortho on the ground, like, it's not terrible. Like, you know, it does the job. Although I will say the amount of building around this part of Dublin over the last couple of years, you wouldn't recognise the place from these maps. Alrighty, so as we're flying over here, this road up here to our right hand side that you can see with the white lights, that's Dublin's M50. It's just like a circular road around the city. We look in here further to our right, we can see Dublin Port. So our plan is we can go up by Dublin Airport, we'll probably come back in over Dublin City and back out to Bal there as well. So height-wise, I'd say we're okay. Trying to get the balance right from the throttle and the collective. But as far as freeware goes, like it's not too bad. We've seen far worse. We've seen a little bit better, but we've seen far worse. And for me, you know, a chopper, or this chopper in particular, any rendition of it is going to be a welcome sight. Like the exterior modelling and the paintwork from Jaffo is amazing. It's fantastic. Alright, trying to get our rate of climb neutralised here if we can. You need a lot of patience with choppers and X-Plane. I was using Traffic Global, but for whatever reason, when the planes are taxiing, it looks like they're pitching up. It kind of took away from the owl immersion, so I turned it off for a little bit until I can figure out what's wrong with it. But come here, isn't it terrible? Like when you think, if you're like me, right, and you know the amount of add-ons and scenery and aircraft and all the stuff we've paid over the years, and don't get me wrong, like we got our money's worth out of it and we got enjoyment out of it, but when you see then what Microsoft are working on with Microsoft Flight Simulator, and like it's the entire planet. Now it's not to say there won't be add-on airports and add-on planes and stuff, but like you buy X-Plane out of the box, okay, it's not terrible as in the scenery, and they do a relatively good job with the auto-gen and some of the ground tiles and whatever. And like you compare it to an FSX when they came out, like it's totally different. But it's just, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'll try and get my hands on Microsoft Flight Simulator, and it'll be a great comparison to see where it's at. And again, it's going to be interesting to see what Laminar can do with this. Like, I know Orbex released Irish scenery back in FSX and P3D, and they said they were going to do it for X-Plane 11, but I don't know, could you justify now spending another 20, 30 or 40 quid buying the ortho tiles? Like, I love my Orbex scenery and all, but you know, Microsoft are saying literally you'll find your house. That's a bold statement. Like, it's, you know, they seem to have a lot of the bigger countries sorted, as in the US and England and France. Ireland is, well, we are quite unique. It's always cloudy here, but it'll be interesting to see if it's there. Performance-wise with this chopper, it's actually pretty good considering I'm running OBS, some YouTube recording thingy, and the graphics are fairly high in this as well. It's yeah, it's not bad at all. As the sun starts to set, one thing I do miss is the sound of the rotors chopping through the air. It's modelled really well on the 139 from X Rotors. But I'm sure there'll be updates coming out for this thing. And it's free, so like, stop complaining, it's fine, like. So we're swinging right here. Coming in over Dublin Port. Like, in fairness, I think this looks fairly decent. What do you guys think? Black Knight. Hiya, two-tone. The livery looks okay. I hope. Have an idea where the problem might be. Something I've had time to work on. Black Knight, dude, just amazing livery work here, man. It's fantastic. I have X camera, but I don't use it. So this is pretty much pressing Control and arrow, jamming them between like your thumb and finger, and then using your plus or minus keys to give us these kind of transitions. So it's purely faking fantastic camera work at the behest of finger cramp. But I hope you like it. I hope it adds to the owl immersion. Gary Elliott, hi two-tone. Looking like you've done that before. Nice job and looking good. Gary, thanks so much, man. And it's total bluffing. Like, it's... My right arm is, like, knackered here trying to hold the joystick. But, yeah, it's working well. I'm actually kind of surprised how well this is kind of... Like, I haven't crashed yet. I say yet. But, yeah, I don't know, it's relatively easy to fly once you're in the air with this chopper. Like, once you can control your RPM, which this guy here, which is purely from your throttle. It's you know, nothing to do with your collective, and then you're pretty much just keeping an eye on your speed. Anything kind of more than 130, you're going to be in bother. And then altitude as well. So, no, I have to say, for freeware, it flies really well. And it's quite forgiving in the air. Might do another lap. Iron V or Iron 5. I'm totally dyslexic, lad, but thanks for the comment. It is freeware. I'll try and get you a link in the description there, or it'll probably be after the stream. I'll tell you where to find it. And as I said, delivery is still being worked on, but like, as it is, I think it's fantastic. And again, guys, like, this is standard X-Plane. There's no tweak with graphics here. There's none of these shaders. There's none of that. And even the system I have, like, okay, it's half beefy, but like, it's aging rapidly, you know. Yeah, no problem, man. I'll drop in the link because it's fantastic. Like, it really is, and I think it's only been released in X-Plane 11 in the last couple of months, and for any of the Irish simmers, they're going to see this. They're going to love it. The Americans, you guys are going to love it too, because this aircraft is still used by the Coast Guard. No, Gary, this is the experimental flight mode is actually turned off. So this is just kind of standard X-Plane settings. Like, I've used it on some planes, and the results have been pretty impressive. Some other planes not so good, but no, this is just kind of standard X-Plane. So, where are we in relation to everywhere? I think that would be the Blessington Lakes ahead of us, kind of slightly left. out there. So you have the Dublin and then the Wicklow Mountains. Black Knight, your attention to detail is freaky. If you can see them tiny little things, I can't see them at all, man. It's, as I said, it looks fantastic. Captain Hall, Sláinte from Dallas, Texas. You're very welcome to the stream, Captain Hall. Great to have you here with us. I imagine the weather in Dallas is somewhat better than, well, it's probably as nice in the sim, but certainly at home it's about like 4 degrees Celsius out here. We need a model for VATSIM. Yes, we do. I'll leave that in your very capable hands, though. How's everything looking on the stream, guys? Is it clear enough? Is it stuttering? Are the sounds okay? Because like I can only hear myself, and I can tell you it gets old really quick. Dallas is cold today, 42 Fahrenheit and a little rainy. 2 days ago it was 82. 82. Dallas, it's certainly on my bucket list to get out there. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly sure that actually the Irish Air Corps would have sent pilots out to Texas. Or was that air traffic control? I'm not sure, but I remember they sent guys out there. There is a bridge here in Blessington. And I think it's it's not modelled, but I think it's that one down here. And I remember playing Soldiers years ago. I used to play Soldiers, and you had to jump off that bridge. Now, I'm not endorsing anyone to jump off the bridge at Blessington. I'm only saying I've done it. I don't want to do it again. Smooth as silk on my screen and sounds are perfect. Gary, thanks for the feedback, man. Once I kind of know the settings are somewhat watchable and audible, I don't need to spend all my free time trying to fix them. Nathan Gray, is there an IAC livery for this? Wait till you see this, dude. So the artist formerly known as Picasso, Black Knight 344, who's currently in the chat, also known as Jaffo2, I believe, is currently working on this livery, and I'm sure as soon as he finishes whatever he thinks he's found is wrong with it, which I don't know what it is, he'll make it available on the org, and when the video is finished, if you know, it could be a couple of days, I'll put it in the description. It is class looking though, isn't it? Like even the Air Corps emblem in the middle, you have the okay, like there's a point for someone who can tell me the squadron name, which is this, and then 247 being the Air Corps number. after that tragic disaster many years ago when one of the Dauphins went down, they actually put the names of the crew on the remaining Dauphin helicopters. So they were actually just, I think they were here. I could be wrong, but as far as I know, they just put the names of the guys here. Nathan, I'm in the process of repainting 280 that you asked for last year. Just waiting for the Air Corps to release a full image of it. Dude, thanks a million. My artist skills are like, you know, stickman, and I can make green out of blue and yellow. That's it. Whoa, look at the angle on that as he read the chat. Okay, we'll straighten up here. Thus concludes our tour of the Blessington Lakes region. Actually, if we go down a bit further, we can head over by the Glen of Amal. Or we can actually come back in by the Curragh. It is a fairly fast chopper, like, I mean, even for X-Plane standards, it moves quite well. Pretty. Jeez, the sounds of this thing are class. Okay, so I believe this to be Nace. It looks like Nace. Okay, we'll do one more lap up around Dublin and we'll bring it back to Bal. Gary, I'd be all over the sky with it. Harry is so smooth with the controls. Listen, if I knew, I wouldn't tell anybody because, like, it would be my secret. I really don't know. It's kind of a combination of weather-wise. It's there's like a 3-knot wind. It's relatively high. Well, I think it's 2.9 or 9.2 in our pressure. So the weather's not going to do much to upset it. The aircraft itself, the chopper, it's extremely stable once it's airborne and it's moving. Like, even the speed I'm doing now, other choppers like lose the will to live at this stage. I'm flying using a joystick, the HOTAS Warthog from Thrustmaster. It's very accurate. But yeah, I mean, it's Just waiting to see the state of the landing, you know, it's it looks fine now. I remember when I first started flying choppers in X-Plane, it was just like they were death traps, they just explode. But you spend a bit of time with them and you kind of get a little bit used to them. But this one, you know, if you want to start, this is going to be good to practice for, we say, straight and level flight. If you're into choppers, I'd look at the AW139 from X-Routers, because that's quite stable on the ground, and it has an autopilot for auto hover and all this, so it's you learn it fairly quick. Now, do we have any night vision? Landing lights, no, they're off. Nav lights on. Strobes are on. Ice detection, no. We don't need it. Black Knight, you would be correct. I do remember it saying so others may live, or I definitely saw that. And in the Air Corps, like, you had heli wing, but there was various squadrons in that. So they would have, you know, back in the day, they would have been flying, obviously, the Dauphins, they had Alouettes and a pair of Gazelles. There's also a freeware Alouette in X-Plane. Now, I downloaded it a long time ago, had a quick look, you know, to see was it going to be any good, and it's not a patch on this thing, like. Although I think the sounds are actually kind of alright. So where we're flying now, this part of, I suppose, Baldonnel come Adamstown come Newcastle probably, or Peamount, a lot of this area is built up on now. So like you can see kind of trees there. There's a lot of like data centers gone in. Black Knight. Yeah, okay, man. Yeah, that sounds about right. Like historically, when the Air Corps ran the search and rescue and air ambulance, like, a lot of people, not to owe their lives, but an awful lot of people were saved because of them. These guys were fearless, like whatever about all search and rescue pilots are fearless, but like, you throw in a bit of Irish weather on top of that. Jeez. There's also a Gazelle. Has anyone flown the Gazelle? Is it any good? And do you know what I'm mad to get? I'm mad to get this. Fuga Magister. There was one in FSX, and it was alright actually, and the sound was actually fairly good in it as well. So hopefully we get someone who makes a Fuga. Like in terms of the Air Corps fleet that we have in X-Plane, so we have a Beech 200 from Carenado. We have the Marchetti Warrior, the Saya Marchetti. We have a Cessna. There's a PC-12. There's this. There's the 139. What else do we have? There's no PC-9s yet. But that's only a matter of time. And again, we're kind of, you know, there's no Gulfstream or Lear up to any particular standard. But they're cool. They're great fun. Like this thing is really good to fly. Yes. Can the heli be used in VR? I don't know. I had VR about 2 years ago, and it was only okay. Now I know X-Plane has gotten an awful lot better with VR, so I have not tested it, Gary. But in fairness to it, like the textures aren't extremely high. I imagine you're going to get decent performance in it. A lot of the click spots, if you're using any of the panels, be it from Cytec or you have even a Stream Deck, I'd say the goggles would work just fine. Once you're not manipulating the controls an awful lot. But like the resolution is quite good on your instruments. Like there's nothing blurry or off kilter. GPS is a little bit small, but again, you can probably pop that out. So our speed is low at about 3,500 feet, just coming in over Dublin Airport. And the strobes hitting the paint there, it's fantastic. That'll be, I think, Horizon Business Park, would that be right? I think. It's like the, what was that Stephen King movie? The Langoliers? There's nothing down there. Again, I was saying I had Traffic Global working. Well, I usually use it. And there was like a bug. I don't know, is it because of the recording software or I don't know what it is. But planes are taxiing as if they're just about rotating to take off, so I just disabled it for the moment until I figure out what's causing it. So all these different views, if you guys are unsure how I'm doing it, pretty much if you hit shift, one is this view and just zoom in, and it's kind of like a static camera that follows, which doesn't make sense, but essentially when you move the aircraft, the camera will pretty much stay in this position and watch it fly. So if I bank out to the right, that gives you that. Or if you want to go for a flyby, that one there was shift 2. Shift 4 is this one, and I'm just pressing control and an arrow to move around, up or down. So that's not a bad view here. So we're coming up, approaching Dublin Port. We should have Croker actually very close to here. It's just there. So check our speed and our height. So bring our collective down a bit. Try and bleed off some of the speed if we can. Not too shabby. So we're going to come up by the River Liffey, up over the quays, and then head on back to Baldonnel. Black Knight, been also trying to get the grips with the aircraft file in order to put in the heat blower, but no, I tried that once. I tried to go and mess around with the aircraft file. I don't know what was the plane. I tried it with a Livery, and I tried it with the heat blower, and no. I think once as soon as you turn on the engines, the heat blower kind of shot out the front window, and yeah. But best of luck, man. If you can do it, great. Like the guys who made this add-on for X-Plane, the this Dauphin, I think they're a French club, because they also have a number of they have a number of other aircraft, but they also have ships, boats. I think they have cars as well, which are fantastic. So Collins's barracks slightly right, Guinness's kind of directly under us now. Houston Station is kind of there. Dublin Zoo on into the Phoenix Park. That's all up that way. The Wellington Monument, which isn't modelled, it's like that obelisk there. The tour continues. So what will be handier if we go for a 2-9er landing? Get your popcorn out for this one, guys. This is going to be rough. Or it could be great. If it's great, it's because I'm fantastic and it wasn't a fluke. If it's really bad, it's because it was a fluke. Once we all agree that will be fine. Speed is good, altitude holding good. We're going to start dropping the collective here a small bit. Again, you got to keep an eye on the RPMs because you can't just have a collective moving on this. The throttle is important here to use as well. Put on our landing lights. Actually, how do they look? They're decent. We're fairly moving. Bleed off some of the speed if we can. Approaching Baldonnel here on runway 29er. Does anyone know that have the runway numbers changed? You know the way like this magnetic shift thing happens, and every couple of years they change a degree or so. working on your landings up in Donegal. That's an interesting place to do it. You get like it only half wrong and you're gone. Okay, dropping the landing gear. bleed off a little bit more speed and height. Bring our throttle back. And we're just going to take our time with this. Rate of descent isn't being indicated. It's saying your vertical speed is spot on. I don't believe it to be. Now we're very high, but that's okay. Just want to be careful just to keep a small bit of forward momentum. Otherwise it gets very tricky because the controls pretty much reverse. Left becomes right, right becomes left. Okay. Almost hovering here now. Collective's starting to come down a little bit. She's dropping fast. Don't like that. I think this is going to be tricky. Whoa. Okay, don't break it, Murph. It's not really sure what it wants to do, so the throttle is certainly controlling the rate in which you can use your collective going up or down. But there's no real easy way to gauge it. So if we want, we can probably start looping around here. A silence befalls the crowd. A little bit shaky. Every now and again it's given a little jerk. You can see from the windsock there it's pretty calm. So that's where the throttle kind of comes in. So it's not just collective, you got to use throttle as well. Gently does it. Nearly down. Now we're going backwards, but we'll just pretend that's all part of the plan. There's contact left and right. That was manky, wasn't it? How did he manage it? Oh, famous last words. Could you imagine if it lost it now? Oh. And more to the point, can we park it? D. David Crawford, well boss, what's the crack? Ops on this bird so far? It's pretty good. Devin Crawford, it's pretty good, my friend. It's a real handle on the ground, as you can probably see. Don't crash, Murph, don't crash, Murph. Let's look out this window. It's a distraction. And kind of just stop it here. Okay. Park and brake on. Very, very cool indeed. Thanks for the video share. No problem at all. So, let's see. That was the easy part. So, if we bring our throttles back. There's all sorts of warning lights coming on, so we're doing something right. Bring our lights down and off. Drop our fuel back in our engines. We look okay. Back on the ground. Replay the landing. Okay, who's up for that? A modest person I am. A modest person, like, you know. Yeah, that deserves a replay in fairness. Okay, so okay, proof we've landed safely. All right, so let's go up here and look at the replay. And if this crashes, it's just that'll be total Murphy's Law. Toggle replay mode. I'll go back here a little bit. That looks kind of all right, doesn't it? And if we play, we go for the outside, or we go for the the runway view. It is a beauty from the outside. It's fantastic. Like even from this angle, it's amazing. If there's, you know, if they're going to further develop it, or if there's someone handy at making the cockpits for these things, bring it on, you know. All part of the plan. Well, I tell you, if there was ever going to be like a resume, if you can put that video in your resume and give it to the aircar, hired. Like, I have the job in the morning. Yeah, don't mind the rest of it. Your ass literally numb from clenching. Bring it in this way. Yeah, we're not too bad. Yeah, don't look at that part. Yeah, everything else is fine. As our rotors slowly come to a stop. Well, guys, that was fun. Hop in here and hit the rotor brake, like so. There we have it. The Irish Aircore Dauphin with the fantastic livery Jaffo 2, also known as Black Knight 344. Thanks so much for joining us here in the chat, and to everybody else here tonight, thanks a million, guys. This is the first live stream I've done on YouTube, and I've had a blast. I hope you guys liked it. I'm going to get working on a schedule to see if we can get some more regular videos. You know, there's no agenda, it's just pretty much have a bit of crack out flying around, looking at different places. I had an Irish series on YouTube, which was a lot of fun. Then I went over to England to do a bit more, in the sim that is, and I'm having huge problems where I landed last. My frames are just not up to scratch to find me down to continue on with the series, but I am working on it and I won't leave it. That's interesting. The rotors like moving. But anyway, to everyone here, thanks so much for watching. Good night, and if you're watching this video back on YouTube, I'll try and get the links in the description for you, for the livery, the download for the aircraft itself, and some of the scenery. That's it, guys. Thanks for watching. If you liked, do hit the like button. Feel free to subscribe and all the usual jazz that these famous YouTubers sound, that makes it sound very professional and highly edited. And yeah, alright, guys, thanks for watching and take care.